Hi, everybody. If by any chance you were watching my, watching my, oh my gosh, if by any chance you were watching, essentially what was my previous stream, it didn't go well. For some reason, my mic was muted the entire time, which I do look at my Streamlabs, and you can clearly see if your mic is working because it's got a little green bar that goes up and down every time you speak. And I was talking. I told a whole story. Oh my gosh, that's frustrating. But yeah, hi, welcome back. I'm gonna stream for about an hour. In addition to what I had already streamed previously, which nobody heard. So here we go again. Take two, right? You learn, you live and learn. That's essentially. So I had muted myself within Streamlabs, and I forgot to unmute myself. So I was telling this. It was an amazing story. It was I was picking up where I had left off as far as my experience going to basic training in 1998. And so I will just tell the story again because I'm that kind of person, and I feel bad that nobody heard me. But in my defense, somebody could have mentioned something. It said I had 2 whole viewers, and a viewer could have been like, "That's okay, we didn't want to hear you anyway." So either, like, the stream was going well, so maybe nobody just wanted to hear me. But I like to share my stories, so I mean, sorry. My apologies. I have had technical issues with my I was using my cell phone, my iPhone 14 Pro. You can use your phone if you don't have a webcam. You can use EpoCam Pro, and you can use your cell phone. So most cell phones have an amazing resolution, which, you know, the iPhone 14 is a great phone. It has a great camera on it. And then for some reason it decided it wanted to be super laggy, and it did not want to do what I wanted it to do, which was perform as a webcam. And so I had that issue. So now I'm using this camera, which I'm not a fan of. It has a built-in ring light. It's made by Razer, but as far as like low light situations, I've got a little bit of backlight over here from a window. That one there. This is my candle. It smells like French bread, in case you were wondering, and nobody asked, but there you go. And yeah, so everything is just going all wonky today. So I had physical therapy today. I feel pretty good about myself. So I'm having some shoulder issues, apparently in both shoulders, which the other shoulder doesn't really hurt. But they're like, hey, your other shoulder's kind of being funky like this shoulder. So my right shoulder has been a little weird. And usually when the VA says you need to go to physical therapy, I'm like, really? And it's obnoxious. I don't like physical therapy, but I have this young physical therapist that he's very good. I really like him. He's very personable. And most of the time within the VA healthcare system, if you are overweight, which I am, essentially I've been out of commission since December 2021. December 22nd, I had back surgery, 2021. So going into 2022, I was recovering from back surgery. And for the past year or so, that's essentially what I've been doing. It's just recovery and getting better. You know, because that's the whole point of surgery, is to make you better most of the time. I don't know what I'm doing here, but you'll be okay. And so I did physical therapy today. That went well. And they were like, you've got very broad shoulders. Did you lift weights? Did you lift weights? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, it's one of the things I do enjoy, but I haven't done it in a while because my back was giving me a lot of issues. Like, it was the benefits of going to the gym versus not going to the gym. The non-benefit going to the gym outweighed me actually going. So within the past year, I've gained weight, which is normal. But what they don't tell you is, like, if you get into like lifting weights and you really really enjoy it, whenever you stop, number one, you really get used to eating sometimes an absurd amount of food because you're trying to help your body recover. And I'm by no means, don't take my health advice or anything. But like your food intake increases a lot because you're trying to get more calories because you don't want to like degrade the muscle that you're building, so on and so forth. So it made me feel good that they were like, well, your shoulders have a lot of muscle in them. I'm like, thank you, because usually the VA's just kind of like, hey, you know what, you're fat, you need to lose all the weight now because it's not good for you. And I'm like, I'm fully aware. I don't eat bad. I just haven't done anything. I've been very inactive. So physical therapy for my shoulders today went great. I got a haircut. Look at that. Compared to yesterday's stream, I was like wearing a hat backwards, which is not me. But my my hair was just all over the place. And yeah, it looked bad. So I got all squared away, and I feel good about myself right now. And I'm finding out that your mental health also, takes consideration how you look. So a lot of things with me is that everybody gets in a funk. I might get in a funk more than other people, but when I get my haircut, I feel my face has lost weight. Like, look at that. I feel my face has lost a little bit of weight. I look a little bit more acceptable. I feel good about myself. And for mental health, that's great. So, moral of the story, take care of yourself. Make yourself look. Excuse me? You guys heard that, right? Okay. I'm not imagining. Okay, there's zombies somewhere. I'm not in the mood for this. So yeah, VA visit wasn't all that bad. Everybody chalks the VA up to be this awful, awful place, and sometimes it can be. But my experience lately is that they've been very helpful. And as opposed to, making fun of me and stuff like that, which they've done in the past, like, you need to lose weight, you're too fat, you're too this, and it doesn't matter what I would say. They're just like, it doesn't matter, your weight is too high. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So there are times when they do get a, wild hair, and they have a tendency to say hurtful things. Yeah, I'm not going out there. Clearly need to light that better. Are you gone? Did you go away? Oh, crap. Nope, there he is. I'm gonna beat him with this hoe. That was stupid. That startled me, in case you didn't notice. Yeah. Alright, I'm going back inside now. So, yeah. Wasn't a bad day, all in all. And then I was just kind of continuing from my story yesterday and the day before, where I've kind of been sharing my experience going to basic training and how it was in 1998 as opposed to how it is now. And things have definitely changed, but I was talking about my battle buddy, Private Brown, and that's his real name, Private Brown, just like Full Metal Jacket. So at some point, I got issued this battle buddy. He was a young guy. He was about 17, maybe came in with a waiver at the time, 17, 18 years old. Like, he wasn't a big person, but he was like a small person with a lot of extra weight on him, and so he's a little jiggly, little doughy. And I was in charge of, we were supposed to work with each other and do all this stuff, but this dude was constantly depressed. Come to find out, his mother was sending him messages and these letters, because we didn't have email back then. She was sending letters about how much she missed him, and she's super sad, and she's depressed, and all this stuff. So he would just sit there and just in a corner, just weep uncontrollably to himself, just sobbing, tears just running down his face. And I'm trying to be like, I don't know how to handle your emotions, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And so I'm trying to be a good battle buddy, but he was awful. Like, he was not a good battle buddy. Not only was he like sad all the time, he wasn't good at anything. Like, not good. Like at some point you kind of learn what you're supposed to do. You kind of learn how to adapt to this new situation that you're in. And you just adapt and overcome that type of mentality. And the problem is that he wasn't doing that, like, at all. He was just not adapting. He was not overcoming, and he was just getting worse. And so a couple movies I was advised to watch before heading to Fort Knox, Kentucky, was I was advised that I needed to watch, one, Deliverance. Okay, I think that was meant to be a joke. And the other one being Full Metal Jacket. So I watched Full Metal Jacket, and then I watched my battle buddy, Private Brown, just not do well. He was terrible. Like, I mean, somehow he made it through basic training, and I think he was in commo. That's what he chose his job to be. And he was the worst. Like, I hate to speak like that about anybody, because I mean, he was in the same situation I was in. The difference was I was taking it seriously, and he was taking it as he didn't want to be there, and he was going to mope and gripe and complain the entire time. And it was just not the ideal situation. Like, me, like, if you come crying on my shoulder, if you're my wife, I know how to console you. If you are a grown man, I don't know how to console you except be like, hey, bro, it's gonna be all right. I promise. Things will work out. That's usually my response. With Private Brown, I did not have the patience for him, and all of his emotions, and God, he was a lot to deal with. And you know, he was just not. Maybe he got better in time, but he was not a good soldier. And this sounds so awful. I sound like such a jerk. But facts are facts. I don't know how else to put that. He was just awful. So yeah, Private Brown. So during our time there, we learned to eat super fast. So we would get 2 minutes per meal to sit down and eat. Somehow Private Brown became good friends with the cafeteria workers, which, if you don't know, don't befriend anybody in basic training, because they're going to turn you in. Doesn't matter for what. They're going to do it. They're a bunch of narcs. And so I kept to myself, but Private Brown thought it would be a great idea to start bringing in jelly donuts. I'm not lying. This is not made up. I can't make this up. So Private Brown had jelly donuts, and he would take the jelly donuts and put them into his cargo pockets in his BDUs. And Private Brown would sneak away to the latrine, and he would eat said jelly donuts. Well, apparently the cafeteria workers had told the drill sergeants, hey, we're giving this soldier jelly donuts because he looks sad. That didn't end well for anybody. So, number one, Private Brown was a constant issue. And then Private Brown decided he was going to start accepting jelly donut gratuities from the cafeteria workers. And that didn't go well, because we all got smoked for everything Private Brown did. And then people would get mad at me because my battle buddy is getting everybody in trouble. Which I was like, okay, I mean, I get the concept, and my understanding, they don't really do this anymore. But, you know, it was just one of those things where it's like, I can't believe that he's just continuing to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And he really didn't care. Like, I think he was trying to get sent home, but instead of sending him home, the drill sergeants would punish me, which in a strange way pushed me harder to do better. And yeah, I mean, he graduated and all, but he put us through so much crap. He put me through a lot of crap. And I couldn't stand Private Brown. He drove me nuts. And to this day, I'm still upset that his mother did that. Like, my oldest son joined the army. And we weren't going to send him messages, you know, telling him how sad we were. Like, we would send letters. But then I would send letters from, like, the dogs, where it would be, like, all in dog. Like, woof woof, bark bark bark. Or, like, a first person, like, account of what my dog had done for the day. And that's what we would send Nick. And that's funny. You know, that's a little bit of relief, because that entire situation is stressful. It doesn't matter if you join now or if you joined back in the 90s or the 70s or the 60s. You know, but good news from home is always good news. So yeah, Private Brown was a hot mess, and he just made everybody mad. That was Private Brown. And so, hold on, I've got a message. Perfect. So yeah, if you've got a person joining the military, and you know they're like, send me a letter, make sure you send that letter. The letters are very important, and they hold on to it forever. And it's kind of like a little time capsule. Like, you can do email, but email's just not the same. It's not the same as receiving a letter, you know, from a loved one, or, you know, family member, which I guess would be a loved one. But, you know, don't make it drama filled. That affects their training. So don't do that. So yeah, so I've told you about how violent the haircuts were, and that we were forced to pay the guy that gave us all the haircuts, and then he would just throw rubbing alcohol on our heads, call it a day, and then we would pay him money and then gladly take it from him. Or maybe you didn't hear that because my mic was muted the entire 37 minutes that I was online last time. I've deleted that video because that just upset me. So it's not there. And on top of that, I was trying to play Tarkov as a scav by myself, and Tarkov took over 20 minutes and didn't load. Also, I reloaded Tarkov, and it's like, oh, you're currently in a raid. I'm like, no, I'm not. Anyway, that's my day so far. How's your day? I can restart the barber fiasco. I'll tell you here in just one second. Let me get a sip. So, excuse me. So there we were, waiting to get our haircuts. And I think I did leave off with, it was the most violent thing I'd ever been through in my life. It was somewhat traumatizing. And yeah, so it was an older guy with a big cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he had one set of clippers that was just set to bleed. And to make everybody's heads hurt. And so we all got our haircuts, and we paid the man, and we thanked him, as you do, for essentially putting us through hell. And at the same time, one of my drill sergeants, I don't think you guys heard this part, but I had a drill sergeant named Drill Sergeant Gomez. He was awesome. Like, towards the end of training, he really became more personable, which most of the drill sergeants do. And back in the day, you know, it was definitely, you had respect for these people, especially if they had, you know, like had an airborne Pathfinder, Ranger, Special Forces, like, patches on their uniform, and you're like, holy cow. Like, he was like 5'7" and built like a brick wall. He was enormous and scary, and that's how you're supposed to be as a drill sergeant. This cuddly, fluffy stuff, I don't understand. But Drill Sergeant Gomez would just stand there with his hat, and all you could see was just, you could see like this much of his eyes, and he never had a smile on his face. Like he was just firmly like, mm. And it was awful. And so he was scary. And so when we went to the barber, and he gave us that god-awful haircut, it was one of those things where you didn't show that it hurt you. You showed that you were super grateful to get a haircut. Because if you didn't, I'm pretty sure Drill Sergeant Gomez was gonna flatten you. Oh, we didn't need to pave that. So I'm thinking maybe I should get some water. Yeah, we should get some water going through here. Like there. We'll do that. That should cover the spaces we need. Nope, we don't want to go down there. Yeah, we'll put it there. Why not? Oh, we actually have a bucket of water. Boom. So we're just gonna make this just, nope, get up there. And that will help water those plants. So hopefully they grow faster. Yeah, Drill Sergeant Gomez was something else. We had another guy that looked like, what is his name? I don't remember his name. At some point, we will have to find, I'll have to find these drill sergeants, and you can see what I'm talking about. Not to discount today's drill sergeants, but they were built different back then, and they were forced to act different too. So it was a different time. And it's like when I go to the VA, and I do talk to veterans from like the Vietnam era, and they're like, oh, it's just everybody's so soft now, and blah 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 blah. When I joined, it was this and that, and it's like I get that to a point, but sometimes it's just not, like a pissing contest, which unfortunately it turns into. And while we're all brothers and sisters in arms, there's definitely those people that you just don't want to talk to because they just drive you nuts. Not to say it's like a Vietnam vet or anything, but it's interesting to hear perspectives from different time frames, because it's kind of like time traveling by talking to people, which is kind of neat. And I do get an opportunity to do that because I go to the VA a lot. I have many appointments. I have so many appointments. Oh, no. No, we are not dealing. Don't you shoot me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Oh my gosh. Why are they here? Hold on, I'm very distracted right now. Okay, I do have a sword. Nope. Okay, he's gone. If there's one, there's probably more. And they're trying to raid me. Why they had a scout out here, I don't know. That's not good, though. So let's heal. That was stressful. See, I got distracted from my story. But yeah, talking to veterans, just when I go is just like time travel. You always see the veterans with their hats. They were on the USS Lincoln or whatever the name of their ship was if they were in the Navy, and you've got some that were in the Air Force. And in the end, like there's these quiet little snide things we all say about each other, but in the end, we all end up in the same spot, and that's at the VA. We all end up in the same spot, so we're no better than one another. In the end, the government uses us for what our intended purposes were for, and yeah, we all get the care. There's no separate like Marine VA or Army VA. We're all in there together. We all have the same issues. A lot of us have mental issues, PTSD. From different things. That's why I try to try to not judge anybody. I mean, there's just some people that are just, you know, kind of like Private Brown. They're just crappy people. But in the end, I still didn't judge Private Brown too hard for who he was. But he was a lot to handle. So we've got a couple people within the chat. I need to say thank you for those who have subscribed. XX Tiger 237. Yep, there you are, right there. Comet SZN followed. DK Fuel followed. I got followers for the past few days, and that's awesome. I'm trying to get to 50. So if you are here, and you feel I deserve a follow, please feel free to follow. And I'm also going to do a 1-for-1 follow up to a certain point, you know, but it'd be kind of cool to follow at least 50 people back, like in the beginning, because you never know how well the channel's going to do or how things are going to go, you know, but it's always fun to see who helped me, you know, and in turn, if you need the followers, I'm going to follow you back and do my best to do so. So yeah. Yep. Went to the VA today. I feel good about myself, which is weird coming from the VA, because usually they make you feel bad. In December 2021, I went in for back surgery finally. So I'd been dealing with back pain and issues and degenerative disc disease and stuff like that for years. And you know, sometimes I was told, oh, it's because you're overweight that your back hurts. Well, I understand that, but like the x-rays show something different, you dork. You know, so the VA is trying to help, and they're getting better with their care. But, you know, at times they can be a little rude. They can be a little rude, and I just don't have the patience for rude anymore. You know, and... hold on, let me place that real quick. There we go. I don't know what this music is. Also, if you're in Twitch right now, you have full control. You have full control over the radio and what I listen to. I think it's one of those things you gotta have a couple bits to change the station, but I don't know. I don't know how to make it to where it doesn't cost anything. But it's kind of neat. And also, it's all safe for streaming, so I don't get, like, a copyright oopsie, you know? And the nice thing with Minecraft is you can kind of listen to whatever you want to listen to and not be distracted. I can be distracted if something tries to come up to take me out. That was unexpected. I didn't expect to see, like, little raiders. We're getting our trees going. We've got a farm going. We've got some... wheat. We have some wheat, so that's good. We've got pumpkins. The sun's starting to go down. All right, let's see here. I've got about a half hour before this stream wraps up, and then I may or may not be back on later, but I'm trying to change the streaming schedule. Yes, no, the streaming schedule to, if you're mountain time, that would be, I think, right at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So I'm going to try to do 2 hours between the hours of 2 and 4. And I'm going to put that on my, in my Twitch as far as reminders, like my schedule. And then I think you can click a little icon and you can be notified when I go online and I am live and streaming. You know, but I've met a couple of people, really neat people on here. You know, from the UK, and I think that's awesome. Gaming's one of those. There's no boundaries when it comes to gaming. You can play with people all over the world, and you're all playing for the same thing, right? If you're playing Minecraft, probably being a little nerd, or you just want to chill, and you know, that's how that goes. Everything is so weird today. There we go. All right, we're doing good there. Sorry, I'm just double checking everything as far as my stream's concerned. and making sure I'm not missing out on any chats. Like, everything comes up on Streamlabs, but sometimes I feel it doesn't completely show everything. So if you are online, you want to say hi, just type in hi. I'll have a whole conversation with myself. It'll be great. And if you got a question, I mean, feel free to ask me questions. You know, anything about my military service, you know, as far as, you know, don't get too personal, that type of thing. And I'm pretty much down to chat about whatever. And if you just want me to be quiet, you can be like, shh, I just want to hear Minecraft. And that's fine too. Alright. Well, that's dangerous, isn't it? Yep. And I think out there, I want to say that's a shipwreck. Oh, we have turtles over there. Sweet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some glass. We're going to start expanding things a little bit. We're going to improve our living situation, maybe create a room, but we definitely need glass. You know, windows. Windows are important. I mean, not necessary. It's not necessary, but I think it's necessary. There we go. And if at any point, like, the volume's too high for the music or whatever, just talk to me. I can turn it down. I will be accommodating as possible. So I did have the physical therapy appointment this morning. I don't know if I went over this, because I don't remember what I said in the stream that I did for 37 minutes with no audio. But I've been having some issues with my shoulder, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you can go to physical therapy for that. I'm like, okay, cool. Usually physical therapy is you walk in and they go, oh, okay, well, you know what would help is if you lost weight. And I'm like, oh, come on. You know, but some basic stretches, how to target different muscles, especially within your shoulders, is kind of important. And so the guy that I've got, he's a younger guy, and he does a really good job. I am impressed with this little physical therapist dude. He's awesome. He sees that I am currently overweight, which isn't like an all the time thing. Like, I'm just a big person. I also lift weights when I can, you know, within my abilities. And he didn't put me down at all for like being overweight or anything like that, which that's always like in the back of my mind, like they're going to say something about my weight and it's going to be rude. Good thing is he didn't say anything. He was like, you're a very broad-shouldered person and you're large, and yes, you're overweight, but it's not awful. I'm like, okay, like that's not a normal thing for them to say to me. Usually they're just very rude about it, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, all your problems stem from you being overweight, and then I have to sit there and defend myself and be like, no, all my issues do not stem from being overweight, as I had these problems before I was overweight. You know, and then sometimes there's an argument. You know, it's just stupid stuff. You know, like, I think some people that get into, you know, being a nurse or whatever the case may be, they lose that empathy, which I don't understand, because your job is to essentially be empathetic and help guide you in the right direction to be a healthier you. And so it was refreshing to not have that, you know, unnecessary battle with another human being about how much you weigh and why do you weigh that much, but for them to actually acknowledge, like, oh, okay, so yeah, this is what happens when you don't lift weights, is all that muscle kind of gets all jiggly, and but it'll firm back up. You know, just, you know, lose the weight when you can. If you can get back into the gym, that's great too. But until then, let's do this to help make your shoulder stronger, to help make your back stronger, help loosen things up. And so that was refreshing. You know, nobody needs a lecture, especially 46 years old, you know, that, oh, you're overweight. That's the sole issue of all your problems, is that you're overweight. And that's not the case. Like, I have health issues. I have other issues that need to be addressed, obviously. And for those that don't know, I do have a pacemaker. I've had, I think like 7 heart procedures. Like 7 of them. All right, we're going to take care of this zombie real quick. Hold on. There we go. But yeah, it all started in the army. I would essentially just sit there and my heart rate would be like 120 or 183, like resting. My aerobic, like when I was doing harder things, you know, like running and whatnot, never got that high. And so they decided that that was an issue, and I agreed. I was like, yeah, like I'm exhausted. I'm just sitting here. My heart rate's like 183 to 200. It was absolutely insane. And so they initially did what's called an ablation, to where they go in and they recreate whatever. They duplicate the issue that you're having. So they give you some medication, you're awake for the whole thing, and then they zap the nerves that are misfiring, right? So they zapped everything. They tried to fix it, and it didn't work. So they were like, okay, well, we need to wait for some of your nerves to regenerate so that we can try to fix this for you. I'm like, oh, all right, well, do what you got to do. And hold on. Oh, this isn't going well. That was in the wrong spot. No. Nope. Okay. All right, that works. Whatever. So what was happening was all my nerves were regenerating. Like they would ablate them, and typically when you ablate something, means that they're gone. Those nerves have been taken care of. Mine were regenerating. I was like growing new limbs, right? And that apparently wasn't common. That wasn't common. Then they were kind of like, what in the world is going on? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. So they did another ablation. The nerves regenerated again. And then they were like, okay, and between all this time, they were putting me on all these heart medications to slow everything down. And it just wasn't working. So the next one, they just went and they toasted everything. Bam. Just obliterated, whatever you want to call it. That's what they did. They just destroyed everything. Which then put me into a slow, heart rhythm. And so they came in the next day and they're like, how are you feeling? I'm like, actually, I feel pretty good, because it doesn't feel like my heart's racing. They're like, no, it's not, but it is too slow now. I was like, okay. And they're like, you need a pacemaker. I'm like, okay. So they put the pacemaker in, and that went well. Like, you're awake for most of the thing. And it was a weird experience. Like, I was laying on the table, and I remember laying there, and I remember them looking at me, and I was looking in like their little splash shields that go over their face, you know, the plastic ones. And I was watching them, and I was like, can you turn your head a little bit? And they're like, you just need to go to sleep. So the anesthesiologist put me to sleep, because apparently I was annoying them. I can see that. So I got the pacemaker. They put that in, and they programmed it so there's programming involved. Like they need to set how fast the upper chamber of your heart goes, how fast the lower chamber goes, what it should do in case of an event, you know, be it like a fibrillation or you know, you're tachycardic or whatever, so it can fix everything. Problem is, they never set it right. It was like 4 years before they actually got the settings in the pacemaker right. Because then I was being advised, like, once I got out of the military, I was med boarded out, and they're like, okay, so you need to go follow up with the VA, you need to do all this stuff. I'm like, okay. So I did that, and they're like, well, you need to be more active because you're starting to gain weight. I'm like, okay. And every time I would go be active, it would feel like I was going to pass out. So apparently, the things were not set up well in the pacemaker. So it couldn't keep up with what I was trying to do, which that was also annoying. And so it took a number of years before I actually they got the settings to where it suited my needs. And you know, their reasoning behind this was, well, typically those settings work very well. And I'm like, and typically how old are your patients? And they're like, oh, they're usually in their 60s. And I'm like, I'm not in my 60s. Like, that's the problem. They were just trying to like group me in to like one stereotypical demographic for people with a pacemaker. You know, so it took years for them to figure out what the settings were supposed to be. It's kind of like getting a car, and the new thing now, it's not new, but the popular thing to do with your car is you tune it, right? You tune it to the needs. You tune it to get maximum amount of horsepower, that type of thing. And they didn't really, they gave me like a base tune, like essentially putting me in with what everybody else was getting. It wasn't a custom tune, so it wasn't doing well for me. But over time, I mean, we got it all figured out. I'm doing all right. I still have the heart issues. That's not going anywhere. And, but I've learned to control it. You know, I know what my limits are. And, you know, at times I push the limits just to see, like, the one thing that's very hard to understand when you get, into a situation with any disability is sometimes I think everybody just kind of stands there and they go, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not like a major thing. And then you do something and you go, okay, no, it's pretty major. I should probably not do that anymore. But thank goodness for the pacemaker and that technology. And what's cool now is I can just check in online, like over my phone. It's awesome. And if I'm having any issues, they contact the cardiologist like immediately. And they go, we need to change this setting and we need to do this. So it's pretty cool. But that's just me. That's what I will share with everybody right there. We're going to do that. All right. Well, we're doing good. What? We have windows now. Windows in my mountainside home. What I need to do is I need to build a, I need to just go straight up. That's what I need to do. So I wonder, let's see, if I would say about there. So I think we'll do this. Doop, doop. I wonder if we could just dig down into, we should. Yeah, let's go up there and do that. I have this idea of putting a ladder just so I can get to the top of this mountain faster. Excuse me, sheep. And wouldn't you know, I forgot a shovel again. It's alright, I got this. And why do I want to be up here? Because those little guys that were raiding me, you know, they sent out their little scout. I don't want to deal with that. And if I can run and hide and get to the high ground before they can get at me, ha, that's better. Alright, so we need to go dig down. Oh, look, an egg. Yay, egg. We do need to explore that over there. Let's see. Let's look over the side here. Nope, that's not it. It was over here a little bit, wasn't it? Oh, crap. I fell. Okay, so about there, if you don't fall down and, like, break your legs. Okay, we're gonna do this again, and this time not fall off the side. We're gonna figure out where to dig down, and then hopefully that'll pop us right into our living area. I'd say there. Ish. We'll do that. We'll see how that goes. I'm probably gonna fall to my death. This should actually hopefully put us not even close. Dang it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to go in 5. Gosh dang it. I'm just causing damage to myself. Maybe we just cancel this idea right now and revisit it at a different time. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Hello, viewer. Hello, chat. I see you. I see where you popped in. I say hello. If you've got a moment, you can type in the word hi. That would be great. Because I have yet to fully test out if my multi-stream function on Streamlabs is like operating properly. Okay, we're gonna go back up here. Random mountain chicken. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna go back over here. And we're not gonna fall. Where were we? Oh yeah, there's the hole. Let's not do that again. We're gonna put a block there. Boop. Nope, fill it in. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I'm just putting like a ladder from essentially what is the living area that I built for myself in the side of this mountain. Why am I not going in the hole? Is there a way to turn off this auto jump? There has to be a way, right? Sneak, auto jump off. There we go. Done. Oh, that is annoying. So I just want a ladder that goes from my living area, or where my little base is, to the roof, because I've already had raiders come in and try to shoot me and unalive me. See, boom, there we go. And we can move that. Perfect. I mean, as perfect as it'll be. I forgot I dug a hole over there. Yep, there we go. Let's go over here and get some wood. We're gonna make a ladder. I wonder if I have enough. Ladder. That's not enough. I don't think that's enough. It's 45 sticks, ladders, boom, 24. That should be enough. Then that way I could just kind of pop up here and defend myself if need be. nope, nope. Don't put that there. Okay, there we go. So now I can come up here and be safe. That works. I still need to go over here. I think this right here, I'm circling it with my crosshairs. I think that might be a ship, which then that goes down a whole rabbit hole for me to where, hi, here, your food. Oh, your food, come back. Oh, come back. Don't go down there. Bad mountain chicken. Now I just have to find where I put it, which is right here. I think I'm going to do a torch. And then hopefully nothing comes popping in from the top. And then just decide to climb down my ladder. Alright, good stuff. Give me just one second, and I will be right back. Like to say a special thanks to Blacksmith IT. Have you ever wondered what education you would need to pursue a career in IT? Let's come see my face. Have you? Because there's a lot of people that do. Do you just need some guidance? Are you like me to where you overanalyze everything? It gets very confusing. Blacksmith IT is there with their career coaching their career coaching consult online. I totally fudged that up, but that's okay. If you have questions regarding what you need as far as pursuing like an IT career, Blacksmith IT can actually help you. They do have career coaching. You can book all this online at blacksmithit.com/5003, or you can just go to blacksmithit.com and you can book a session. The nice thing about this is that there's not a lot of companies that I personally know of that are willing to take the calls and set appointments and do all this for the smaller things. Like sometimes you just need somebody to help guide you. IT may be something that you're interested in pursuing. For me, like I said, I get horribly overwhelmed, and to sit down with their people and just talk and to get the advice that I need, for me personally, it has helped guide me in a direction to where I need to go. I don't need to worry about this. I don't need to worry about that. And they just kind of reduce the clutter, condense it, and go, okay, here's your blinders. Here's what you need to do. Now you can make it happen. And you know, that it's little things like that that Blacksmith IT has helped me with, you know, as far as learning and what's important and understanding all that, just a ton of things. So feel free to book a consult with blacksmithit.com/5003, and you can get the assistance that you need. But as far as right now, I'm about to wrap this stream up. I'm so glad. I'm so glad if you came back to my stream after my 38-minute of my mic being muted. I appreciate you so much. And don't forget that if you do hit the follow button, I'm gonna follow you back. Like for the first 50 followers, so I can get to my 50 followers. I've finally reached 20, so we are at a milestone. I'm almost halfway there. You know, it's just a matter of getting the other 30, which seems like a lot. It's kind of like how it was like on the clock app. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I need 1,000 to go live, and I can do these things. But I made it. I made it. I did it. It took some time and a little bit of dedication from me. So, you know, if you want to do that, I will be more than happy to follow you back. But as far as now, I'm going to wrap things up, and I appreciate everybody stopping by. I might be back on later. I'm trying to update my stream schedules so it makes sense, and so you guys can be here. But I appreciate everybody stopping by, chatting with me, you know, or just watching. You know, if I'm on in the background, I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope you had an amazing day. I'm taking into consideration all these time zone differences. And I've got people that are across the world, you know, like in England and Switzerland, and you know, that's awesome. You know, so if you guys have anything you'd like to see me play, let me know. But yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by today. Thank you so much. I thank you for your time. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.